A few years ago, many people thought that in the age of online marketing, brands would become irrelevant. They thought that at a time when one can measure and optimize every part of an online marketing campaign, something as vague and intangible as a brand would simply fade away. Those people were wrong. Today, brand is more important than ever. And in this video, we'll talk about exactly why that is and show you how you can begin to build your brand into a marketing powerhouse. So what is a brand? Why should we care? What does it mean? Well, let's talk about what it isn't. It isn't a logo or a snappy name or a company slogan. Those are all just packaging that don't really get to the essence of what a brand really means to a product or a company. The best way to think about a brand is to picture it as being equivalent to a reputation for a person. If you think of yourself, think of your reputation in the community and what that means to how successful you can be in the world and how people regard you. That's what a brand is for a product or a company. Once you understand that relationship, then you start to understand the critical part that brand has to play in building brand equity and value into a company for the long term. And also, it tells you how to move forward in terms of building your own brand for the future. Understand that, and you start to understand why a strong brand is an essential part of any great marketing campaign. And the reason goes to actually how our brains work. And scientists have discovered a lot about that over the last few years. The process begins in the rational, intelligent part of our brain, where we compare prices and look at features, these sorts of elements of the buying process. But soon after that, the decision moves to an emotional level. And that's where we think about, well, how do I look in this? Do I look beautiful? Does this suit me? That's a very critical part of the buying process. The actual decision, though, is made by what scientists call the lizard brain, the part deep at the back of the skull. And that's the bit where our instincts live. That's where the brain decides whether to fight or to take flight. That's the bit whether it needs to seek reassurance around a campfire or go and prepare for danger. That's the bit that decides, should I invite a stranger into the family circle? It's that gut instinct. That's where buying decisions are made, scientists are discovering. And so that's what every great brand has to achieve. It needs to develop enough familiarity, reassurance, and confidence in the customer that they can make that instinctive buying decision easily. A great brand has to allow that subconscious response from the customer and facilitate the buying decision. And that's the route to long-term customer loyalty. So, how do you build a brand like that? Well, that's another story, and it's to do with things like brand positioning, consistency of customer experience, and brand identity. We'll talk about that in another video, but right now this is Chris Trahorn, and this is MThink TV.